The Victorians. How did the Victorians have fun? Well, during the Queen Victoria's reign, big changes took place in the way that people spent in their leisure time. Blood sports like bear baiting and cockfighting were banned. With the growth of the railways, people began to travel more, and visiting the seaside became a popular pastime. But the railways also allowed local sporting teams to travel, and so sports like cricket, football and rugby began to become organised with agreed rules and national competitions, such as the FA Cup. Lawn tennis was invented in 1830s, and a new sight on the streets of Victorian Britain was the bicycle in its various different designs. There were still old favourites, though, such as going to the circus or the theatre. But the invention of the moving picture during the 1890s meant that a new dimension was added to the theatre going. In our research, we used both the Essex Records Office and the National Archives to find posters and pictures and photographs to understand how the Victorians enjoyed their leisure time. Well, activities included visiting a travelling circus, going to the seaside, playing cricket, playing and watching football such as the FA Cup, tennis, cycling, playing croquet, boxing, going to the theatre such as pantos, the grand volunteer tournament and military fete, baking cakes, early days at the cinema, rowing and boat races, fishing, sailing, horse racing, dancing and going to the music hall, reading, singing at home, or embroidery and needlepoint, or just going to the pub, which were quite often called public houses back then. During the Victorian era, there were many changes to how people lived and the ways that they'd spent their spare time. The Victorians enjoyed listening to brass bands and attending spectacles. These shows included hypnotism and even communication with the dead using mediums. Circuses and performances were also popular, with Britain being visited by some of the most famous of all time, including the Barnum and Bailey Circus, who frequently came from America. The rise in photography and moving pictures meant that people started going to the theatre, not only to enjoy plays and spectacles, but also to watch recordings of sporting events, as you can see from some of the sources on our website and in our education pack. Sporting pastimes such as cycling, rowing and horse racing were also popular, and large crowds would often attend sailing events like the Henley Regatta or the famous horse races such as the Epsom Derby. One of the biggest and largest events of the Victorian calendar was the famous Great Expedition held in 1851. The huge event was organised by Prince Albert, the husband of Queen Victoria, and was held in Hyde Park in London. At the centre of this expedition was the famous Crystal Palace, which was built to house the expeditions of culture and industry from all around the empire. If you get a chance, pop on our website and have a look at all the photographs and the paintings and pictures we found in our research, or you can download the free information page there as well.